Corbin H05 wants to know, how can I keep a high velo when going from pull downs to the wind up? So I have a lot of content on like pull down velocity, run and gun velocity in comparison to mound velocity, and those mechanical breakdowns that are pretty commonly seen in those two throw variations. So I would encourage you to head over to my website and just search pull downs. But just to give you a quick little glimpse inside what to expect, I would say a lot of guys struggle with the translation of that velo for, there's honestly a numerous amounts of reasons of why this could be happening for the individual. A lot of individuals do really, really good with more freedom, and they perceive freedom, or they perceive more movement as freedom. So right, like you're long tossing, you're doing a pull down, you're shuffling, you're moving a little bit more before you throw the ball. That creates a little bit more rhythm. That's going to influence probably a little bit better timing, and it's just going to be more natural, athletic, loose, free throw. And then to piggyback off that same freedom, you have like the somewhat of a mental restriction when you're on the mound and trying to throw strikes. So I'm big on that type of aspect, like what your eyes are perceiving and then therefore telling your brain. But I know you guys really don't want to hear a whole lot of that. So I will say, from the physical side, from the actual mechanical side and the movement side, the one is probably the obvious, is like you have way more acceleration going into your throw in a pull down or like a run and gun or a long toss. You have way more acceleration. And that's going to probably influence a little bit better posture and timing within your hands and your feet. And it's going to probably optimize like the actual the power output movements that you see at like the highest level. And then the other notion of that is like you're throwing on a flat compared to a mound. A lot of instability issues on a mound could then hinder the acceleration and all that jazz. That again, it gets a little bit too nerdy. So I would say to answer the question, how I would just try to bridge the gap as best as possible. Like identify what it actually is for you that is hindering your mound velocity in comparison to your pull down velocity. Because I have a video. I did like a mechanical screening on a pull down velo day where I was like 100, 101 in comparison to like 92 on just a leg lift flat ground throw. And I've identified a few things for me personally from a mechanical standpoint, but I would identify what that is for you. A lot of people, like I said, is a mental restriction that could free up. Those are the same guys that probably throw plyo balls next to a wall a lot harder than they do off the mound. If it's, if you can check that box and it's not that, and then it's a mechanical thing, look at the way that your trunk kind of organizes when you actually go into the load of your drive leg. Also, there's that external sense of stability that is present when you do slam that foot down into the ground, that actually corkscrews that rear hip and stabilizes, and you hold energy better. There's a lot of potential, like I said, but go check out that article that I did, and you'll probably see like more visual context to that as well. But that's a really good question, something that comes up a lot. I would just, like I said, do the best you can with the information that you have to determine what the actual piece is for you. And then once you do that, you start working towards, like I said, bridging the gap. So good question, Corbin.